Okay, let's see if we can somehow finish this with a 7-1 record with a really sketchy deck with a crazy, weird curve that peaks at the 4 drops. Hey, Elspeth. Probably too few power for this to be good. Too many 4-5 drops. This is okay. It's not great, but at least I can play every card in my hand. And 4 power, 2 of each is perfect. Influence-wise, that's very good. I do hope to draw a 2-drop though. That would be great. But if not, we can take 2 here, and hopefully our 3-drop can hold the fort for a couple of turns until this giant 6-drop will completely hold the ground forever. Okay, so that's a really good card. Now he can kill this with a static bolt, or a rock slide. Rock slide would be gross with this card in play, doing a total of 4 damage. Okay, that's gross too. So, oh, I see. Oh, he still chose not to attack me. That's really interesting. I would have loved to draw this on turn 2, but we didn't. So the question is, do we want to take another 3 damage, or do we just want to Scorpion Wasp and ambush this thing and not worry about it? Because playing the 4/4 here doesn't stop him from attacking me. I'm gonna trade the 4/2 with my 3/3 here, and I'll block the, and I'll take 3 in the air. But alternatively, what I can do is I can play the Scorpion Wasp and Envelop. I can bounce this, so he loses the weapon. 2/2 is not relevant, and I can kill the 3/3. That means I don't expand on my board, but my opponent basically has no units to play next turn. I'm gonna play the dinosaur here because I would like to start expanding my board a little bit, so that when I do play cards like Envelop and temporarily bounce one of his units, that I can take advantage of that slowdown by doing some more damage on the attack back. So he's really cautious and he's not willing to trade these units for better units. That's really unusual. I would have definitely attacked with both of his units because my units are better than his. But as it is now, let's go ahead and killer the 3/3 flyer. We'll put a 2/2 in play. Now, see, now it's bad for my opponent, right? Because now I'm just going to trade his 4/2 with my 2/2, and that's a really bad trade for my opponent. So I think my opponent's being a little bit too defensive with his units, but then again, I don't know his hand. Maybe he has no more units in his hand, and he's really treasuring the 2 that he has, and maybe they're all tricks, so he needed them. So we don't know what's in our opponent's hand. Okay, so that's fine. We're trading a good 4-drop for a pretty decent 4-drop as well, so... well, when I say good 4-drop, I mean mine, and his 4-drop is decent. I don't love this card, but I think it's decent. Yeah, see, like this, I'm more than happy to trade. Yep, we'll play that. If he attacks us, I think I'm just gonna trade my Bright Mace Paladin for it. There's only 2 cards that I can draw that will pump this, I think. Oh, maybe the Sparring Partner can do it as well, but... yeah, let's go ahead and trade it. I kick myself if I draw the shield, one of my 2 weapons next turn. I would be kicking myself. But what can you do? Okay, that's kind of problematic. So let's go ahead and silence it and not worry about it. Well, I should have... No. I was gonna say, I could have attacked him. He wouldn't have blocked. Maybe we can bluff the attack and get 1 damage in, but... Oh, perfect. Now we can finally get closer towards this giant champion of progress here. He has no attack. Even when this becomes a 4/4, we can always Scorpion Wasp it, so we're not too worried. He has no attack on the ground, no attack in the air. This 6/6 is gonna be very difficult for him to handle. Those are either 5-drops or they're some kind of a trick. But if he has tricks, I feel like he may be more aggressive in attacking into me, so maybe not tricks. If he has removal spells, so it's possible that he has removal spells and also just 5-drops and 6-drops. I haven't presented him with any good removal targets yet. Let's just play this now. I do want to maximize my mana usage over the next few turns. Wonder what's better for me here. I think because I can't attack with a Champion of Progress and it's only a 6/6, and I really don't need it to block, maybe I'm actually just better off making this into a 3/5, or even just playing the Guardian, because the Guardian can gain life every turn. Interesting decisions. I'm gonna play the Guardian and pass the turn. I think swinging in the air for 2 damage a turn like this, I can attack with all 3 units and basically do 2 damage per turn, and I think that's not insignificant, so it's probably worth it. This unfortunately gives him an opportunity to attack me this turn with a 4/2, but we'll easily trade it with a 2/1. So his attack is not good. I'll trade the 2/2 here, block his 1/1. Sorry, I'll trade the 4/2 with this 2/1, and then block the 1/1 here, and yeah, he has no way to get in for any damage. Oh, making this flying? That's okay too. I'll just block with the 1/1 if I have to. But that also means I can no longer attack him. If I make this into a 3/5 and attack him, what happens? He needs 5, so he needs to block with 1, 2, 3. He needs to block with all 3 of these units to trade with my 3/5. That's actually really good, because then the 6/6 becomes unbeatable. And I'm perfectly fine with him having a couple of flyers here. Problem is, if this becomes a 4/4 and it's a 4/2, that's fine. Let's just go ahead and attack him. If this becomes a 4/4 next turn, what I'll do is I'll trade the 4/4 with my 1/1 and I'll double block his 4/2, and I'll lose one of my flying units, which is fine too. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Because the idea is when I play the 6/6, when he has less power on the board, he's gonna have a really tough time blocking my 6/6. Or 12/12 if I'm lucky enough to draw another Justice. Yep, that's expected. He doesn't have attack onto me, but I don't have an attack on him either. So we're 1 Justice away from this being a 12/12, and then in which case we can just start smashing him no matter what he has. This is actually 12 here, but I can trade a single unit for his entire board. No, never mind. It eats the polymorph and turns into a frog. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and double block here. That's a pretty good trade, I guess. Alright, we got nothing going on. He's got nothing going on. Time to pass the turn. I do have some pretty good top decks. Because our deck does start with start at the 4-drop, so lots of our 4-drops are pretty good. Yep, that one is perfectly playable. So next turn we'll attack him with a 5/5. He'll have to block with these 2 in order to kill it, and I'll just kill his 4/4 flyer, leaving the ground open. Oh, no, what he can do now is he's gonna block with these 3, and I can kill these 2 only. So still not great for me. So let's just pass the turn. Yeah, too bad he drew the 1/4 there, allowing him to triple block. I can kill 2 units. Leaving the 1/4 means I still can't attack with any of my units. I probably won't attack him with the Scorpion Bros, because what he does is he takes 1, then he swings back for 4, and this is a really bad trade. Cards like Envelop is also really poor against cards like this, because they just cast it against a 4/4 and they ultimate it again and it becomes a 6/6. So that's not great for me. Okay, a non-sparked clan hero. That's fine. Okay, so now this can become a 3-4, or this becomes a 3-7, or this becomes a 7-8. What's the best play here? I think making this into a 7-8 is probably not good because all he needs to do is block with 3. Oh, actually, if he wants to kill a 7-8, he needs to block with the flyer. Because he 3, 6. Oh no, he blocks with everything. And I can kill only like 3 of them. Alright, I'll put it on the flyer here. I think I'll put it on the flyer here, it becomes a 3-7. And at this point, I'm just going to attack him with a 1-1. And see if he... So this way, I'm chipping him for 1 damage per turn. It's not great, but I think it's... If I put the Bucker onto my Reinhardt and attack him and I trade it for 3 of his units, it's the 3-for-2 trade, but I'm killing a bunch of pretty weak sauce units. So... And I think on defense, my 5-5 holds back his entire team. Getting 1 damage in is not nothing. It's slow, but it's not nothing. Oh, I wish I have some life gain. I don't need to play this because I'm not attacking him, right? For any reason. I might as well protect it from removal and silence. So if I attack him with a 5-5, what happens? He definitely just blocks with this one, and this one. I kill his clan hero and his 1-1, leaving him with a 3-3 and a 1-4. I still can't attack with a Beckoning Lumen. That's not good. If I can somehow also kill his 3-3, then I can attack with the Beckoning Lumen because then it forces him to block with his 4-4. So I think what I'll do here is make this a 4-8. And next turn I'll be attacking for 4 damage instead of 1, and that would end the game pretty quickly. So he's now forced to make a move. Okay, that doesn't help him at all. Okay, I have no strangers in play, but it's still a pretty big unit. Let's hit him for 4 in the air. Let's play this. Let's just go ahead and play it all out now. He's got quite a bit of threat on the table. I'm gonna start thinking about attacking him with our big units soon. This stranger isn't getting me any value at the moment since I have no other strangers. Okay, well, he conceded. Okay. I have 2 opponents this draft that conceded somewhat prematurely, I think. Because he's not dead for a couple more turns. Oh well, anyway, let's play the last game. Maybe my opponent just has power in his hand like I do. Because he had 3 cards in hand. On the second last turn, he played 2 units, both were mediocre, and then he has 1 more card in his hand. That's probably a land then. I feel like if he has a trick or a removal spell, he would have definitely already used it. Yeah, this deck is very grindy. I have not had a draft like this for a very long time. Most of the decks that I draft are pretty focused. It has a pretty clear, fairly aggressive game plan. I like to finish games quickly, and I either win fast or lose fast. But games like these where, I don't know, half our games are dragged out to pretty late into the game, it's pretty interesting. I think that is partially due to the power of all my archive curators. Having 1-4 flyers that silence does such a good job of slowing down the game. I think we draw this because I have nothing going on for so many turns. I don't even have the second time to play the dinosaur. This hand is much better. Yeah, turn 2, 3, and 4 play, perfectly fine. This may be a turn 5 play, because we already have 4 power in our hand now, because this counts as a power. Perfect. That even solves my mana issues. With every power that we need in our hands. So this is gonna go and fetch a green. What? Easy block. Whoa, my opponent's so aggressive. That can't possibly be the right play. The Oathkeeper is so much better than the Stranger here. I feel like my opponent's made a really big mistake. Maybe he's thinking I won't block, fearing a trick, but anyone would just trade a Stranger for a trick, right? So there's no reason why. Anyway, let's grab a Justice Sigil, attack him for 4. I'm going to play the Sparring Partner and probably use it on the Acolyte, making it a 3-2. I don't want to take a turn off on attacking. My opponent's not doing anything. I feel like applying pressure would be a good thing for me to do. It's only 3-3. He's very far from activating this thing. Just gonna go ahead and swing in. I'm not gonna bother play the Curator on this now because he's many turns away from activating it. So we're gonna go ahead and play the Reinarch. My opponent's pretty close to dead here. Next turn he's taking 10 damage unless he puts up a blocker. And even if he puts up a blocker, I can always remove it. So yeah. Yeah, my opponent's been... Oh, wow. Okay. I don't understand what happened there. The attack was super sketchy. I would never ever attack my opponent with my Minotaur into a 2-2 like that, just throwing it away. And then no play on turn 2. It's possible that my opponent has a 3-color deck and he didn't draw his 3rd faction and have a bunch of cards stalled in his hand. Because otherwise 4 power, 2 of each faction, presumably you should have things you can play. Yeah, that was good. That was a 7-1 draft, I believe. Things went pretty well. We drafted a pretty sketchy deck, very heavy in the 4 drops. But I think this game, this set of games in this draft, really showcases the power of archive curators. That is definitely a first pick quality card. When you have a bunch of 1/4 flying silencing units in play, you stall out the games very easily, and if you have a little bit of flyers, you can usually chip them for 2-3 damage a turn and eventually win. And also time has the largest units, so as long as you buy enough time, your very large undercosted time units often is enough to overwhelm the board. Even in a game that we played where the board was stalled for basically the entire game, our units grew in size and our units are on average bigger than their units. So after a couple of attacks and the board clears out, the time-based decks often come out on top just because the units are just all bigger. Awakened Student is very powerful, as you can see. If you can play an Awakened Student in most of these games, turn 2, turn 3 Awakened Student with them a couple of lands, they grow too big too fast for your opponent to catch up or keep up with. And often you end up games like the last one where you have a bunch of 5/5s in play on turn 4 or 5, and your opponent's sitting there with some 2/2s and 3/3s and concedes. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I am gonna slow down recording drafts. My goal was to climb into Masters, and we got there pretty fast this month. I think that was the 5th draft, something like that, like the 5th draft, and I think I recorded 2 of them. So you should have seen my previous draft. I should have uploaded that before this one earlier in the week. If you like drafting content, leave a comment below and let me know. I can do some drafts, and I can even specifically try and explore certain archetype that you're interested in. But just let me know because I don't care too much about keeping my rank, and I don't draft that much on my own, so I have some gold saved up, and I can definitely do a few more drafts for entertainment values, or maybe even forcing certain gimmicky, weird archetypes that you're interested in. I'm certainly open for that. So if you like what you see, give me a like or a thumbs up, subscribe for more content. The second half of the month is usually for competitive content, and the first half of the month is usually for gimmicky, fun, interesting content. So leave a comment below on what you'd like to see. and I'll see you next time.